when you are seeing that God is pulling together the restoration of all things as his agenda for sonship, then the mystical and engaging heaven is absolutely key to that, because we'll never see heaven on earth unless we're seated in heavenly places and functioning there. The other aspect is the eschatology. If we do not believe that there is a better future and the kingdom of God is going to fill the earth, then we won't have any faith in doing any of that, because we'll be rescued and have the rescue mentality and all of that. And the third one is, if Jesus, when he was talking about these things for that generation, and Gehenna particularly, when he said that you're all going to end up out of darkness and you're going to end up in Gehenna, Jesus wasn't talking about the end of the age either. He was talking about that generation, or the end of that age. He wasn't talking about the end of the world. Therefore, the whole concept of hell and Gehenna and Hades and Sheol also then is up for change. So the perspective of universalism and Christian universal, and the fact that salvation is possible after death, all of that is on the same stream that comes out of that revelation. And some people are picking up on that, but they're not picking up on the eschatology. Some people are picking up on the eschatology and not picking up on that. Now, I believe if you're running in the mystic stream, we should be able to engage God to bring these things together into a unified whole that makes real sense of why we're here, what we're doing here, and what the process is that we're in, which is to see everything restored. And let's not put on any limits of what all things mean from any other perspective, but allow God to reveal what all things are from his perspective. And I think that's where we are in all of this. It is a challenge, Fortunately for me, God deconstructed my eschatology in the mid-80s. So this is not a new thing, but I would have probably held a partial preterist view of most of the Bible was fulfilled in AD 70. But as I've engaged deeper with God and realized much more about what he's been doing and how he's been doing it, then I'm much more moving towards a different perspective. But I don't want a label. You see, as soon as you have a label, you have to believe what that label says. Now, there are those who believe in realized eschatology, believe that the Bible has already been fulfilled, who will then say, well, spiritual gifts aren't for today, because the reason for tongues was a demonstration to the Jewish people that the kingdom had been taken away from them and given to the Gentiles, which is true theologically. But does that mean that God is now limited, that he can't do what he's already done in the Bible again if he wants to? Just not according to a biblical thing of this is why he's doing this. He's in free to shake things. The shaking in Hebrews 12 took place in that the old things were shaken so the new things could come forth. Does that mean that God stopped shaking? No. So they limit the fact of what God is doing just as much as futurists limit the fact of what God's doing, because they are tied to, well, all prophecy has been fulfilled, therefore God is not going to do it again. Well, God's God. He can do whatever he likes, whenever he likes. And I believe that spiritual gifts are for today, but I do believe they're just the training wheels to help us come into sonship where our spirit is able to discern and function in maturity of sonship. So they're just the baby things until we grow up.